The crisis in Plateau State is becoming a worrying situation as it has lingered on for too long without any solutions in sight. This week, dozens of people were killed in the Mangu local government area of the state. The violence, which began on Tuesday, continued till Wednesday, even after a 12-hour curfew was imposed by the state government. This latest unrest is coming after more than 100 people lost their lives in similar violence in another part of Plateau State over Christmas. Disturbed by the worsening state of security in Plateau, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, is set to meet with President Bola Tinubu with a view to finding measures to secure the lives and property of the people. Joining us to discuss the latest violence in Plateau State and possible solutions to address the issue is Dachung Musa Bagos, a former member of the House of Representatives who represented Jos South, Jos East. Thank you very much, Honorable Bagos, for joining us. Well, we've been discussing security in Plateau and the challenges faced by the
morning, Ruben.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us. But first, before we go to the challenge of insecurity in Plateau State, let me ask you, you were one of the lawmakers at the National Assembly who suffered the same fate as the 16 PDP lawmakers who 3 days ago tried to resume at the House of Assembly. But at the National Assembly, Honorable Benela, Honorable Gendeng, and your good self, Honorable Bagos, and Senator Napoleon Bali in the Senate were also, turned adrift on the grounds that, you were not validly nominated and your party had no structure. The National Assembly team, are you also going to make an effort to go to to your former seats? What has been your reaction on the basis of the statements made by the Supreme Court in the Mutuang case?
Well, Ruben, unfortunately, the law is the law. And as lawmakers, when we have seen such lacunas, all we need to look at is what are those doctrine of necessity that will be able to necessitate to see how we'll be able to address these issues, because we should be able to look at this even beyond us. If this judicial anarchy is not being addressed now, in 2027, 2031, it can still repeat itself, and everything ends at the appeal court, and you still get the right judgment at the Supreme Court for the governor, and it continues like that. We can't continue in that part. So what are those steps that needs to be taken at this particular moment, either for us or for subsequent lawmakers to be able to right the wrong? Clearly, the Supreme Court stated out that, look, what the Court of Appeal did was wrong. In the first place, they lack jurisdiction. So in such a manner of statement by the Supreme Court, and you should know that most of the Supreme Court judges were judges from the appellate court as well. So if you have such senior state judges making such statement, so at this particular moment, even if we are going to right the wrong on our own issue, we should be able to look at what is the doctrine of necessity that will be able to come into play to look into this. But we are so hopeful looking at what are those areas that, according to the law, that will be able to look at these issues squarely. If not, how is it that it shouldn't repeat itself in 2027? Because it's about the Nigerian people, it's about the mandate of the people. It's not about me as an individual, but how is it that the votes of the people will securely be secured by the judiciary?
All right. Thank you, Honorable Bagos. Now, let's talk about the Plateau crisis, or what has been termed the Plateau killings. I'd like to start off with even setting the background. Since you were once a representative, just South, just East, you would understand, being on ground, what really triggers these killings? I don't want to assume that they're unprovoked, or are they unprovoked? Some people have said, oh, it's the farmer-herder clash. Others have said it is a deliberate attempt to annihilate a particular section of or group of people living in Plateau State. From your experience and speaking with the people of Plateau State, especially in those local government areas, what would you say is the remote and immediate cause of these killings in Plateau?
Yeah, you see, the wrong narratives have been put on the table to diagnose the issue of killings, and I must warn you, in as much as we want to be maybe as journalists, you want to be correct with some certain words. There is no crisis on the Plateau, and there is no clash on the Plateau, because number one, if there is crisis on the Plateau, you will now find out that over the years that the killings that have taken place on the Plateau, you could have seen that either the farmers and herders, all of them have casualties. But this is a situation where a community will be sleeping, and at the end of the day, in the night, they will be killed, chased out of their own community. And so that is absolutely not a clash. We should be, unless we change and look at the narratives, we will not get the solutions right. But if we always call it a clash, or we call it a crisis, call Christians, Muslims, or ethnic groups together to the table, take tea, and proffer solutions that are practically a mere conflict solution, it will never solve the situation. And that has been the major problem on the Plateau, that the wrong narratives have been given. What is happening? It's pure genocide, land grabbing. People come into communities, kill, chase these people, and occupy their land. And it's not just a mere statement. The facts and proofs are there. Over the years, since 2001, over 60 communities have been wiped out on the Plateau. They come, kill the residents, chase them out, and occupy. So these are issues that we need to further do some proper security forensic analysis of killings on the Plateau. Why are those killings? And to me, we have so much flocked on these issues without properly bringing out some possible solutions, actually, because I will not be representing hundreds of thousands of people, and I will want to be politically correct because of something. No. The issue here is that our people are being killed. They are being chased out of their own communities. And at the same time, you cannot go back to those communities because someone is already occupying, not just occupying, heavily guarded. Because even there are communities today on the Plateau that even security agencies cannot even go into those communities. So you should be able to start asking what is going into those communities. And some of us have gone further to make some of this research that look, why the continuous killings on the Plateau? The first thing that we've been able to identify is that the wrong narrative have been given to the killings on the Plateau. Farmers herders, it is not so. Religious, it is not so. But people bring in the element of religion into these killings so that to be able to do what they did, the major purpose that we identify. And if you look at the chronology of all the villages that have been wiped out on the Plateau, each and every one of them has one or two economic potentials on the Plateau. So at the end of the day, you will now find out that because a side will now try to ignite and say, it is religious. The Christians are killing the Muslims, or the Muslims are killing the Christians. You find those elements in that place. But at the same time, there was something that still provoked those issues that made it happen, an undertone. The major reason, all the communities that have been wiped out on the plateau, all of them today, go back to those communities, you will see that some people are mining in those communities that we cannot even access those communities. Go to some of these communities, you will see that these communities are highly vegetational, that you can farm there, you can rear cows there, they have streams, so all these communities are for a certain target, and there are communities on the plateau that are hillies. You can't farm in those communities. You can't do any much. No mining, no mineral resources in those areas. They have never, in the history of Plateau, said they have never been attacked. So why is it that those communities have never been attacked? So in essence, what you're saying, Honorable Bagos, only those communities that you said.
So in essence, what you're saying is that it's an illegal mining problem. No religious lands.
Absolutely,
no,
absolutely,
right,
because
okay. So it's an illegal mining issue.
Because in every genocidal killing in the world, look at it, or be it war, be it killing, there is an element that usually they bring out as a face. Study crisis, study war, and you will see that they give you a fake face. They will give you a fake face in terms of to provoke religious crisis, to provoke support. The major reason is that so that people will be able to leave those communities. And for them, in Mangu, for instance, Mangu is the only local government that has the highest, they produce grains on the plateau in the middle belt, and potatoes and so on and so forth, even the mining activities in those areas. My own local government and others, the same thing. So we need to come to the table to diagnose the issues of killings on the plateau properly before we'll be able to get the solution.
Okay, so Honorable, are you saying that the people that are saying this are wrong? The people that are saying that there's a slant to it, that some people are coming to take their land from them of some extractions, are wrong? Because, and I'll clarify for you, if you read in the This Day newspaper today, the DHQ said they killed the bandits from a particular extraction, a particular group and a particular tribe. The DHQ, the Defense Headquarters, said that this morning. So are you saying that they are wrong? Are you saying the targeting of religious institutions like churches and mosques are wrong? Are you saying that people that have even alleged complicity with the military are wrong? That even the camp,
I'm not saying
in that area has been called up by the military. Are you saying that they are wrong? Are you saying it is only because of illegal mining that there's no slant of religion or ethnicity or land grabbing? Are you saying they are wrong? Are you saying that General Ayola that talked about the caliphate point of view, that some people are trying to build a caliphate, are you saying they are all wrong?
I'm not saying that they are wrong, Rufai. I said that, look, most of these things that you see are faces of most of the killings on the plateau. If you go to Mangu, churches are being burnt. If you go to Mangu, you will see that Christians are being killed. If you go to these areas, you see all these things. But I want you to look at aftermath of all this. What happened? Do people go back to those communities? When all this is said and done, in the next 2-3 months, go back to those communities. What is happening in those communities? Are these churches being built? Are these houses that were burnt, are they being built and people go back to those communities? No. Rather, you will go and see different activities going on in those communities. The people that are doing whatsoever they are doing in those communities are heavily guarded. I'm not saying that all those are wrong, but after all those things, what happened? Go back to those communities. Do the people usually go back to those communities again to occupy their communities? Are those churches or those houses that were burned, are they being rebuilt? No, these people, they chased people with whatsoever narration, but at the end of the day, they occupied those lands because merely that is land grabbing for whatsoever purpose that happened 3, 4, 5 months aftermath of that. The narrations are there. What is the chronology of this? Go back since 2001, Rufai. Take a personal research as a journalist. Investigate the issues of killings. I can give you all the names of the villages that have been wiped on the plateau. Visit them if you go with whatsoever security you can. If you can be able to identify, you can be able to access those communities. So what happened after these things are all have taken place? It is not what happened now, but do our people usually go back to those communities? That's what I really want us to think further and to look further into those issues. Can government today guarantee our people that, look, okay, all the 60 villages that have been wiped out, can they guarantee that our people will go back to those places? No, because we have spoken about this. Government have made so much promises that our people from IDPs will go. Most of the IDPs today, why you won't find the IDPs because of the IDPs on the plateau, because they have reintegrated into different communities that there are no killings.
Okay, Honorable.
So the narration is not wrong, but what happened afterwards?
Honorable. Indeed, the crisis on the plateau can be dated back to 1994. In 1994, the government of Nigeria set up the Fibirisima Commission. In 2001, there was the Nikki Toby Commission of Inquiry, still on the same crisis. We have had the Sankey Commission. We've had the Ajibola Panel of Inquiry. We've had the Presidential Initiative on the Plateau all through the years. But nobody has done anything about the reports and recommendations of these various panels and commissions of inquiry.
What are they? Abati, can you tell me the recommendations? What are these recommendations? I have always said that most of the recommendations for peace on the plateau are political peace. We cannot continue on political matters and bring in political peace on the table. It will not last. It's just like putting an icing on a bitter leaf cake. It will not last. When you finish taking the icing, you will get the real issues. Why is it that all the recommendations, all the investigations have not worked? From 2001, be it Nikki Toby, be it whatsoever commission of inquiry that has been on the plateau, in 2001 there were killings. Villages were sacked in communities in 2001. Go to that village. Between the recommendation for peaceful coexistence, between the recommendation for guardian of forgiveness, between the recommendation of Muslims and Christians staying in one place, between the recommendation of, look, let's rebuild, go to those recommendations. All those were political peace. Have people gone back to their villages since 2001? That is the question that I'm asking government. That is the question that I'm asking leaders. Since 2001, from those recommendations, are people occupying those villages?
Well, Honorable Bagos, incidentally, all those panels and commissions of inquiry, their reports were never publicly released, nor were they implemented. So maybe the point you are making is that lack of political will is part of the problem. But there is a point that has been made in this latest round of violence, which is, I think it's the chairman of the Christian Association in Mangu local government, saying that, look, there has been complicity of security agencies. That in this latest round of attacks, just as was the case in December 2023, that the security agencies were alerted even before the attacks. Nobody did anything. Why do you think that the security agencies, the military, the police, will be so complacent and to the extent that the victims will be accusing them of complicity?
Abachi, that's a question that over, because I'm a victim. I'm a victim as well. I'm in as much as I'm a leader and I'm representing my people, I've put myself in the same shoe with my people. It's the same question that we have been asking. from 2001 or thereabout, all the formation, be it Operation Safe Haven, be it whatsoever formation, have been on the plateau. Taxpayers' money have been spent on the plateau in terms of addressing insecurity. Why is it that the security agencies have not been able to curtail this? This is a question that all of us are asking. I'm not a security personnel, but they should be able to give us they should be able to give us the answers. You need to invite security, because I know that Nigerians, we have strong belief that security agencies have the capacity to address the issues of insecurity in Nigeria. So why is it that they will be so overwhelmed with what is happening on the plateau and other places and other cities within the country? Is it that we have not provided the required funds for them? Is it that they don't have the equipment to address these issues? And by the way, in the 21st century, why is it that technology is not being deployed to address these issues? That you find that from point A to point B with a travel time of over 1 hour, people will move in motorbikes in their hundreds to attack a community. They will take 1 hour, 2-3 hours to ravage that community, drive out again on the same motorbike. We don't have satellite that can be able to identify the movement of these people. Their security don't have binoculars that can be able to check and comb those people. We don't have drones that can be. So what kind of kinetic or non-kinetic approach are we going to use to address the issue of insecurity in Nigeria? That we cannot deploy technology in the 21st century. We cannot. There are instances on the issue of killings on the plateau that we even found SIM cards on the floor. We took those SIM cards to the security. There are instances that we found ID cards of these people on the plateau, on areas, on those sites that they came to ravage our communities. Either you will see that they are fake military ID cards or they are military whatsoever ID cards. We found those. We push them forward, but nothing has been done. But at the end of the day, you will see that when our youths come out to put defense, they are the ones that will fall victims of arrest. Or at the end of the day, if intel show that this person is part of what has happened within the community, he will be arrested. Tomorrow you will hear that he has been moved to Abuja or to have been moved to another location. No more issue. As people, as representatives, as leaders, we want to see that the security agencies have told us that, look, this is the person they have arrested. We are taking him to court. All of us will be in court to see that justice is being gotten. Just like from the review you made of one of the killers in Nottingham, in UK. The families know this is what we want to see today on the plateau, that this is the person or these are a group of people that have been arrested. They are taken to court. All of us will mobilize to go to court to see how justice is being dispensed, how they have been sentenced, this is kind of justice we are looking for in those kind of killings. Not that our people will be killed and will be chased. So these are issues, but the narrative that today this one will come, no, we want to see action. Enough of talking that this is that. That is not the situation, the solution we are looking for.
Honorable, I get your point. But be careful how you recommend resort to technology. The last time the Nigerian military deployed technology in Kaduna, they went and killed the wrong people. And they said it was human error. So technology is a double-edged sword.
When you want to use technology and when you want to use technology, Abati, and you are not technologically inclined, the technology definitely will not synchronize with you. So it's not about just using. We need the right people. Who are those people that have been going for training? What are those? Say, if today some governors are being investigated for using security votes, why can't we check the security votes that are being used on security agencies to address the issue of insecurity in our places that up till now we have not gotten the solution?
All right. Well, because
our fear as leaders is that we shouldn't allow people to get and to resort to self-help, because that is going to be dangerous for all of us.
Yes, Honorable Bagos, let me come in here. You've said a number of things, and it's still, a lot of what you said still boils down to a lack of political will, and in some instances, some would even say military will as well. Yet, we get reports, visitations by the military and security operatives or security officers who say that they are doing their best to neutralize, or at least to bring some sort of peace in Plateau State. So what you're saying is that they're saying one thing, but doing the opposite. What has been the impact of Operation Safe Haven? Because that's a special operation in Plateau State to at least arrest the unrest in that community. What has been the success? We hear news of how much money is being allocated to fighting insecurity in the Middle Belt, including Plateau State and the rest of the country. We hear success stories about bandits apprehended and paraded. Are you saying that after those headlines, nothing else is being done? And then, in order to move forward, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, is billed to sit with the President to discuss this matter. What should be the agenda on the table? Because as has already been highlighted, for years and years behind, we have had reports upon reports, recommendations upon recommendations, nothing. So what would be the difference in this particular meeting that's billed to happen between the Speaker and the President? But first, the question around what has been the impact of Operation Safe Haven? Is it just headlines we're seeing, no impact in terms of controlling or at least bringing some form of rest to the people of Mangu local government, Bokos, Bakinladi, and other parts of Plateau State?
Yeah, for me, to the security agencies, I will say they have done their best. They have every intel. But to some certain extent, they have been overwhelmed with the situation on ground. They are well experienced. They have the intels. They are intelligent. They know the situation on ground. But from what I'm seeing is that they have been overwhelmed, because if today a by-election will take place and 20,000 security personnel will be sent to those areas to protect votes, why can't those kind of number of security personnel be sent to Plateau to be able to protect and prevent this kind of situation of killing? Because every life is very important than even the votes. Without the life, you will not be able to get the votes. So I want to see those kind of security arrangement that they do for elections to be done on the Plateau to save lives before the elections. Because to me, the security have done their best, but more needs to be done. Because what they are practically doing is to be able to calm nerve, but to preempt and to prevent, as well as again to forestall not to happen, is what the security needs to do now. Not to, when it has happened, to come and be calming nerves and to take charge for checkpoints. No, that is not. The essence is that, look, to preempt, if there is any intel, no matter whether it is true, any rumor in security, it's a very high red alert. If you hear any intel, take charge of those areas before it happened. Not that when it happened, you now move in and you calm nerves or you take. No, that is not, to us, that is not the essence of the presence of security agencies with it. So they are doing their best. But in calming nerves is not what we want now. We want that now, look, if these people are moving from point A, before they get to point B, they are being intercepted. We will be able to hear that there was exchange of gunfire between the security and those people. We should be able to hear that they have been able to ring them and arrest them, to de-arm them, to be able to hear that their armory is being taken off. Those are the kind of information we want to hear from this. We want to hear that, look, justice is being given to those people. That is the kind of proactiveness we want, not to come and calm nerves after our people are being killed. So that's what, they are doing their best, but more needs to be done on these certain issues. And okay, the last question, sorry, I didn't get what you were trying to say, the last part of it.
Yes, I talked about the meeting between the Speaker of the House and the President. What should be on the agenda, and what difference will this make, seeing that we've had meetings, recommendations? Are you optimistic, or the people, are they optimistic about this meeting? Very briefly, because we're almost out of time.
You see, to be frank, I'm tired of tea meetings. I'm tired of political statements on issue of insecurity in Nigeria. We want to see action. So we want to see justice. President has given directives. This is the first time we have seen that president has given directives, not that he's condemning. Because previously we usually have condemn and perpetrator we brought to book. But this is the first time the president has given directives. So we want to see that the directives of the president have been followed hitherto to see that, look, these people have been arrested. It's not no longer about tea discussion. If the speaker is meeting the president, we want to see that, look, proactive measures of justice. There cannot be proper peace without justice. Justice must be dispensed to the people that are being killed. Justice must be brought to people that their houses and churches that are being burned. Justice must be given. If justice is given, everyone, because the person that usually comes for this injustice will not even come, because he knows that when he gets to this very community, he will meet justice. He will be repelled. So they will not even go. When tomorrow they see that most of them are in jail, they will not even come. When tomorrow they know that when they are coming to this very, they will be ringed. Our security have the capacity. That is the kind of justice Plateau people want. We want to see that these 60 communities, that's the discussion that we want the speaker to discuss with the president, that, look, Your Excellency, how can these 60 communities in the Plateau be given back to the people? How can we reclaim these places? How can we compensate these people? What can we do? But every day, today is 60, next tomorrow is 65, next year is 70. We will not continue like that. And when you continue like that, that is the narration that tomorrow you will now see that, oh, it's about the caliphate, it's about Christian, Muslim. But why is it that if it is about Christian and Muslim, the Christians are not gaining more grounds, but only where you are now saying that they are the ones gaining more grounds? No, that is not justice. That is not the narration that we should be able to look about. So we shouldn't be able to talk about Christian. I go to Wase today. Wase is predominantly a Muslim area, but killings are going on in Wase today because of what? Because of mining. So when we give the wrong narration on these killings on the Plateau, is going to really, so those that want to promote religious killings will do that. And that's why you now see that when followers now take it religiously, you will see that churches are being burned, Christians are being killed, Muslims have the same attack if they come. But why is it that only one side are the victims of these killings on the Plateau? So you now come and tell me that it's clash, it's farmer. No, that is not the narration. We should be able to, the first form of justice is that let our people go back to their farms. Let our people go back to their villages. Let our children start going back to school. Then we will now know that justice has been dispensed. We will now to know that when these people are moving in their bikes to a certain location, that the military operation Safe Haven have been able to curtail them. They're in hundreds. They usually move in hundreds. In each, calculate 100 bikes times 3 people on a bike. That is 300. Do the total number of Operation Safe Haven in Plateau State, are they up to 1,000? But if there will be by-election tomorrow in Plateau State, you will have 20,000 security personnel. Where is the civil defense? Where are the police? Where are the Mopol? That the strength is only on the military, that they are being overwhelmed. So these are issues that we need to look into.
On that note, Honorable Dachung Musa Bagos, we would like to thank you very much for joining us on The Morning Show.